There is no end to the to-do list before the very first day of school. And this year I'm going to share my list with you. This is my personal list of everything that I'm going to do before the first day of school starts. Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and today I'm going to share all the things that I'm doing to plan for our first day of school. This week is the last week before school starts, and there has been no end to my to-do list to get ready, but I typically do the same things every single year. So I'm going to go over the list that I have in my Mardell planner. You guys know that I've been using a Mardell planner since like the beginning of our homeschool. This is what it looks like this year, and it's called the Simple Plan. All right, so there's a lot of things on this list. I did not realize how many things I actually do until I wrote it out. And a lot of these things I just kind of do mindlessly. I don't even really think about it that much. I just kind of go through these things, kind of go through the motions. But when I thought about making a video explaining all the things that I do, I started writing them down on this planner page thinking there'd be like 4 or 5 things, and there's a lot more than I expected. I guess I do a lot more than I realized, and I think that probably as moms we do a lot more than we realize as well, just in general. We just don't realize it until someone actually sits down and writes it out or points it out to us. So one of the first things that I did was I came into this room. This is our homeschool room. And I went through all of our supplies just to see if we needed anything. I noticed the only thing that we were really out of this year was paper. Okay, so I have to start this at least in July, and I did this year, but I start reading the books. And one of the first ones that I started with is usually always going to be literature because it's going to take me a little bit longer. So my youngest literature is The Great Christian Adventures, and the first book that they're going to be reading, I've already read. So luckily I read that one last year, and that was Titus. So I read this one last year just for myself, and I don't have to read that one. But the second one was The Swiss Family Robinson. That's the second one in here. And I think, let me double check. Swiss Family Robinson is second. So because they were having a sale this week, I decided to grab the audiobook because they just started recording and putting up for sale audiobooks for all of these literature books. So that makes it so much easier on me. So I went ahead and I grabbed the audiobook, and I've been listening to that. I think I'm in chapter 3 or 4 right now, and I'm just listening to it in my spare time, you know, while I'm doing laundry or while I'm cooking, cleaning, those type of things. I just kind of put it on and listen to it, so I at least have a basic understanding of the story, and then I'll go back and, you know, kind of look through the question and answers type of thing when we start school. So I am at chapter 10, which is like 2 to 3 months within the school year, and it's just such a good book. I just really like it. So they're doing philosophy, literature, and culture inside of this textbook. It's by Kevin Swanson. You guys have heard me talk about this book a lot this year. I really have been enjoying it. So what I do is I read the chapter, and then I grab my notebook and I take notes as I read along just to kind of help me remember. I have a little bit harder of a time remembering small details because of autoimmune issues. It really kind of messes with my short-term memory. So it's easier for me if I just write down notes as I do each chapter. So these notebooks have like built-in tabs, and so I just make notes as I go along for each chapter. So I start out the chapter and I just kind of put a heading, chapter 1, and then I just write down anything that I deem important that should be something that we go back and talk about when he actually does that chapter. So the next thing that I do, and I'm going to do this probably today, is make my new teacher binder. So I made a teacher binder the last couple of years. This is the one from last year, and I have already emptied out everything that I don't need for this year, but basically all of the important paperwork kind of goes in here. So anything for the state that I need for that year, attendance records, transcript sheets, things that I just make my life a little bit easier. And then I have the answer keys to some of their books in here. So I just kind of rip them out and have them in here because I just have this with me all the time anyway. So it's just easier for me to have all the answer keys in one place, and then I can kind of go back, and when I'm grading papers, all I need to grab is just this book here, and I have all of my answer keys to make it a little bit easier on me. So the next thing I'm also going to do this week, and I'll probably do that today as well, is I need to actually make our lesson plan. So I'm going to plan out all of the lessons in here, and that will kind of help give me a good idea of where we're going to start. And I have a video on my channel about lesson planning and how I use my Mardell planner to plan my lessons. So if you want to see that, you can go and check that out. It usually takes me only about 15 minutes or so, but the very first one of the year is going to take me a little bit longer because I'm not used to how they're set up. A lot of these books are brand new, so I'm going to have to kind of go in and check and see how they work. And I'm also going to have to decide which electives we're going to do the first half of the year and the second half of the year. So once I have that list of which electives we're doing the first half of the year, which electives we do the second half of the year, then I can write that all down in my planner and get our very first week of school planned out. I only plan out 1 to 2 weeks at a time just in case I get sick or something, because I do have I'm dealing with lupus and a couple other autoimmune things. So just to keep things easier on me, I only plan 1 to 2 weeks at a time just in case something happens and then my planner's not all messed up. So it just helps me. The next thing I need to do is I need to get their teaching textbooks enrollment all set up on my laptop and on our computers. So basically, teaching textbooks is all online, and you download like an app, depending on if you have a Mac or Windows, whatever you're using, or an iPad. You know, you can use all kinds of different devices, but I need to get those downloaded from the site and get those ready to go, so Monday morning we're not scrambling to download everything, and I don't want to have to deal with that on Monday morning, the very first day of school. So I need to get that fixed and ready to go. Okay, 2 more things. First, I need to write out the schedule. So I have a whiteboard over here. It's full of the kids' drawings and things like that during the summer, so I'm not going to show that right now. But I need to get the whiteboard situated, and what I do is I basically write out the kids' schedules. So basically I just go in order of the subjects that they're going to do, and then that way it kind of keeps them on task. And usually after the first month of school, they're so used to it they don't have to look at it anymore, and then they can have their board back. But during the very first weeks of school, it's very handy to have that list kind of, you know, going down the line so they don't skip anything or so they don't forget anything on accident, and it just makes my life so much easier. The last couple of things here, I said 2, I lied. I need to clean up this homeschool room. I have been putting it off, and it is time. It is time to go through and declutter all the things that I don't need anymore, and it's time to really just kind of give it a once over and clean up things because they've been using this room all summer, and I just feel bad like making it all schoolish again. I want them to be able to have this room during the summer to play and to do board games and puzzles on the floor and whatever they want to do. But now school is right around the corner, so I need to get this room back to square one. And the last thing I've also been doing since July, which is planning out their subjects and like reading ahead of time. I do a lot of the reading ahead of time. I just do. It just makes my life easier. I figured it out last year. I feel so late in the game to be doing this, but with a child in high school comes a lot more reading. So there's some subjects that I pick each year to teach, and basically we just kind of do them together. So what I do is I read the sections ahead of time, and I take notes on them in that notebook that I was showing you before, this purple spiral notebook. I take notes on those, and then we discuss those points. We both do the reading independently, and we come together and we talk about it, almost like a book club, but not. And then we kind of go over the study and discussion questions that are within the notebooks that they have. So they get like a student workbook, and there's, you know, questions and answers. So we'll kind of go over those. We'll go over any points that I have, and then that's really it. It's really easy. But to be able to discuss those, I have to know the material. So my job is to read those sections ahead of time with the subjects that I have picked. And so far this year, I have been doing the physical science, this is the brand new one from Apologia. And this is the new 4th edition one. They just started shipping these out. I just got my copy, and I have been reading ahead of time. I think I'm in week 6 of this right now. I already showed you the Worldviews and Conflict book. I'm already like in week 10 of that, I think. I'm doing America the Beautiful again because I was doing that last year, and this one's pretty easy. These sections, the lessons are not that long, so pretty easy there. I showed you the literature for my youngest, which is The Swiss Family Robinson. And I'm going back and forth on teaching this one. I don't know if I'm going to have the time. I need to I haven't started this one yet. I need to look at Epoch and how long the lessons are, so I don't, you know, bite off more than I can chew during this school year. So I'm going to look at this. This is going to be my 12th graders history. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not sure on this one yet. And then there's going to be some electives that I teach, but I'm not really worried about the electives too much because the readings are not that hefty. So that is my week. This is prep week for me. I got some things done yesterday. I got some more prep work done yesterday. I got some more reading done yesterday. The rest of the week here, I have got to kind of buckle down and get the rest of the things ready. I have been working on getting my schedule, like my personal schedule, like my sleep schedule and everything kind of readjusted back to school. I changed my workout time, so I'm working out early in the morning again. I just finished up. I am tired. I am really tired. I'm trying to come out of summer mode, you know, the week before school starts. I probably should have done that a couple weeks ago, but you know, I wanted to relax. But other than that, that is what I am working on right now. And yeah, let me know what you guys do the week before school starts, or how you set up and kind of get back into school mode from summer mode. I would love to have any tips that you have to kind of make this go a little bit smoother. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and happy homeschooling.